Hey everyone, exciting news. We've officially launched the Paranoid Perspective Patreon. If you love what we do, unpacking conspiracies, chasing mysteries, and laughing through the weirdness, now you can support the show and get more of it.
So, for as little as $5 a month, you will get exclusive access and extra perks to the episode. Sarah, what do we get with Tier 1?
So, Tier 1 is the Curious Minds, and you get a shout out at the end of every episode.
Next tier, this is what you guys really probably want. Ad-free episodes. We don't need those pesky ads that you guys are getting on Spotify, Apple, whatever else. You will get all episodes ad-free along with what else, Sarah?
You'll also get it ahead of time. So before the episode releases for that week, it'll be available for you to watch or listen.
So if you guys are interested, check in the show notes down below, or you can head to patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Welcome back to the Paranoid Perspective. I am Jake.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, full disclosure, listeners, we're going to get personal. We were both raised Catholic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember getting dragged when I didn't want to go to church all the time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And I mean, I don't think it was ever bad. It just was, we didn't want to go. You know what I mean?
You just sit there. I mean, I didn't listen to
No.
anything. So, yeah, you're
stand
just
up,
sitting
sit
there.
down, stand up, sit down, stand
Right.
up, sit down.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I would
okay,
get really
got
dizzy.
Like, Jesus. Got it.
Yeah. And usually not eat before. So then I'd be like, God, I'm so hungry. Every time we walked up to get the little wafer thing, and I was like, oh, I feel so full now.
Yeah, because you were full of the body of Christ, Sarah.
Right. Yeah. But no, I was just hungry.
Yeah. Well, this is a disturbing story about a young woman that was also raised Catholic. And people probably know the story. There have been movies based off of this. There have been books. That's pretty well documented and very controversial case of Anneliese Michel. Michel. That's how you say it. Very German.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anneliese
Michel.
Michel.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, just to give you a little preface for what we're about to hop on into, in 1976, a 23-year-old woman in West Germany died after undergoing, you want to take a guess how many exorcisms she had, Sarah?
That was a lot, right? Like 100 and...
It wasn't that much.
Over 100?
No.
Okay.
Pretty damn close.
56. Close, okay.
Well, close-ish.
87.
67. She had 67 exorcisms.
That's insane. Over what time period? I'm sure you'll say.
It was about a 9-month period that she had these.
That's insane. Wow.
Now, these also ranged anywhere from 2 hours to 9 hours and anywhere in between.
Yeah.
She ultimately, spoiler alert for everybody that doesn't know, she ultimately ended up passing away from these exorcisms. When she passed away, she was 68 pounds.
Wow.
Her knees were shattered from kneeling hundreds of times a day. And all of this because she and the people around her claimed 6 demons possessed her. Said that they could hear them. Yeah, 6. Priests said they could hear them. Family said that they would be able to like smell different smells. It's a crazy story if at surface level you really like if she was really possessed by 6 demons, like they went through fucking hell, including Anneliese. But here's the thing about this. This is not like medieval times. It's not like the Salem witch trials. This isn't like folklore. Like this is pretty, like, at least in like time frame, modern history. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking the late 70s here. So we're going to dive on into this story, and it's a like wild about like, it's so many factors to this. It's their faith in God, it's guilt of their sins, it's mental illness, it's cultural pressure, like everything you could imagine kind of wrapped up into this. And the unfortunate reality is this is kind of what tends to happen when, spiritual belief becomes stronger than medicine in certain people's opinion.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but let's kind of get a little backstory on Anneliese. So, Anneliese was born in 1952 in Bavaria. She was born into a deeply Catholic and conservative post-war Germany. That's, I mean, you got to think too, like 1952, like that's not that long after the end of
Mhm.
World War II. So, like, that shit is still fucking pretty fresh on everybody's
Yeah.
mind. Her parents were Joseph, very German,
Hmm. Yeah.
and Anna. They were both very devout Catholics, as I said, but their devotion was also routed in shame. Now, get this, before marrying, Anna had a daughter out of wedlock. Clutch my
Mm,
pearls. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Now,
Yep.
in 1940s Bavaria, this was not like kind of just frowned upon. It was fucking horrible. Like,
Mm,
when she got married to Joseph, she was forced to wear a black gown at her wedding.
black. That's ridiculous.
It was a symbol of her penance for her
Right.
sins.
Well, yeah, because she's not a virgin anymore, so she can't wear white. Let her wear
Yeah.
yellow or something. I don't know. Black, like a funeral. That's kind of
Oh, dude, that's what I'm talking
like,
about. Like, that's what her mother was raised in. You know what I mean? Like, so this is
right.
like super deep rooted, hardcore believers. Like, I'm talking the most hardcore.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that child died at the age of 8. And also, even more unfortunate, I believe that this was divine punishment.
Right. Of course.
So I couldn't imagine growing up in a home where like supposedly God punishes sin like almost immediately.
Right.
You know, suffering is what redeems your guilt. You
Hmm.
know, constant talks of how the devil is always at work and demons are literal beings. You know, there's
Right.
stories of Annalise reportedly having to sleep on the floor to atone for others. So I think it was pretty ingrained from the get go, all that she
Well,
knew and
yeah.
all that she was growing up in and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy I didn't have to go through any of that. But
Right. We were not like that.
yeah, I don't know. But as a teenager, a lot of people would say she was very sweet, she was shy, and she was very intelligent. She loved to play the piano, and she wanted to become a teacher when she grew up. Grew up. But once again, she had kind of an uneasiness, and I don't think it was like intentional. I think it was just like her personality was like hyper focused on this like religious guilt that, you know, if she did something wrong, she had to atone for her sin and pay penance and not only for her but for the other people in the world as well. Like it wasn't just for her. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's hard to grow up in like that.
I couldn't imagine. I don't know how you could
Yeah.
live like that, but
No.
I'm sure people still do. But in psychological terms, it was kind of later discovered that, you know, her brain was kind of misfiring. Her framework of understanding, she was prone to seizures, pretty much.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, in her framework, this wasn't neurological, this was spiritual.
Right. Okay.
And a court,
So, sorry, I'm gonna
no, no,
skip. Is it skipping ahead if I ask, was she just having like seizures and they thought she was possessed by six demons? Or was there more to that?
I
Was it
think,
just
I think it was part of it for sure.
okay? Yeah, that's
For
really
sure.
sad.
Well, you got to understand too, like this is the 60s in West Germany at
Yeah,
that point in time. You know what I mean? Like they're not really and especially in like a very very like fundamentalist sort of Catholic
right.
sect of religion, not sect, but framework of religion that they're trying to go after. Like I don't think medicine and science and doctors were on the top priority list unless you were like missing a leg. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And the unfortunate reality with like Caesars and stuff is like the typical like it will change your personality. It
Hmm.
will like change your facial features. It will like your pupils could go like open all the way and like make your
Yeah.
eyes look black. You know, like
Right.
the typical thing you would think of like, oh shit, this chick looks like a demon, or she's just having a fucking seizure.
Yeah.
you know. It was also later understood that she was diagnosed with epilepsy as well. So not
Mm.
only would she get seizures, but she was also epileptic. So, I mean, if you're thinking about it from more of the skeptical side of things, there's all the signs in the world that she probably needs medical help and something other than spiritual help.
Yeah. Something besides 67 exorcisms.
Yeah.
Maybe after like 10, maybe try something else, Like,
Well,
I don't know.
it is what it is. Now, in 1968, at 16 years old, that is when Annalisa had her first major seizure. She blacked out, her body convulsed, and that's when she got the diagnosis of a temporal lobe epilepsy. Now, temporal lobe epilepsies can cause intense religious experiences or hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. I can't talk. My God. Fear delusions, sensory distortions, and sensing a presence. So,
Yeah.
once again, I'm not saying I don't know if she was actually possessed, but I do know that she was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy that causes a lot of symptoms of people that say they're possessed. It might be
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there's something known as, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. I think it is German, Gretschwin syndrome. Gretschwin? Gretschwin. It's associated with epilepsy and it's marked by obsessive writing, deeply religious fixation, and emotional intensity. So they think she also might have had that along with
Wow.
her epilepsy and seizures.
Yeah.
She was prescribed anticonvulsants, but the seizures still continue. And then something started to shift. She began starting to say that she was hearing knocking sounds, seeing distorted faces, smelling sulfur or burning flesh, and feeling an evil presence.
Hmm. Well, so she was diagnosed and they accepted that diagnosis at the time, right?
I don't.
Or she was
Well,
diagnosed later.
I think that is when she was diagnosed and prescribed the anticonvulsants. Now,
Right.
that being said, I don't think anybody close to her accepted that, including her.
No.
They were
Well, they had to
convinced.
have taken her, though, to the doctor and stuff. So
True.
at least they did go to the doctor. But then how soon after that did she start saying it was like sulfur and stuff?
It doesn't say how soon. It just said she began reporting. So pretty much what it was she started taking this medicine and the seizures continued. The epileptic fits continued. So she probably wasn't prescribed the right thing. At that point in time, too, like I said, we're talking, late 60s. You're probably the understanding of seizures and epilepsy was not where we are today. So it was probably easy to, not give the right sort of treatment. But I think it's more critical to the psychological point when a devout Catholic teen hears a voice, she doesn't think this is a neurological event. She thinks this is a demon. And also with her family, I guarantee you when they were like, oh, she took them crazy pills that they prescribed her, and guess what? Didn't work. Guess that it can only mean one thing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
The
So
demon won't let go.
that's what I'm saying. So
Right.
that's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm getting at with that because I don't think anybody I do agree that they definitely took her to the hospital. They got her treatment to the best of their ability, but they didn't believe it at all. They didn't
Yeah.
believe it was going to work. And I am a firm believer of if you like can manifest something in your mind, it's going to start happening. You know what I mean? Like if you truly think, oh man, I'm a real piece of shit, guess what? You're going to feel like a real piece of shit and probably start doing some real piece of shit behavior.
Right. Yeah. Because you'll be like, well, I'm a piece of shit anyway. That's what I'm doing. That's what
Right.
I do. Yeah.
Right. So no, I'm not saying like I'm not talking like woo shit, like I'm gonna be a billionaire tomorrow and I'm gonna will it into existence. I'm just saying when you have this mindset of,
Right.
you know,
Well, you still got to do the work.
well,
Yeah.
true, true. But I think with the spiritual aspect of it, I think it was just an easy out instead of actually dealing with the problem. You know what I mean? Now, by 1973, so this has been going on for years at this point, her behavior absolutely intensified. She claimed she could not enter churches anymore. She said that holy water would burn her. She saw demonic faces in statues, and she began growling during prayers.
Okay.
Now, doctors diagnosed psychosis in addition to epilepsy, and she was also prescribed antipsychotics. But she was still deteriorating. So once again, it's getting worse. We're going to take her back. Nope, still not doing anything for her. She became convinced that she was damned, that she was in hell, that demons were mocking her, that her family, you know, were seeking spiritual help, but nothing was coming. Like she was like starting to dig herself into like a deeper hole in her
Mm-hmm.
mind. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Now, her family did end up going and seeking some spiritual help. This is Father Ernest Alt. Now, Alt believed that something supernatural was happening. He described her eyes as quote unquote black and hollow. He did write the bishop requesting an exorcism. For those of you that don't know, you can't just perform an exorcism. You have to go
Okay.
through the rigors of what would be the best way to say this? The hierarchy of the Catholic Church. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You
Which,
call them in.
well, from my understanding, like, especially, and thankfully, thanks to this and a few other events of, botched exorcisms, like priests nowadays, like they really have to do like a deep dive and figure out to make sure there's no psychological, no health issues, nothing that could be anything outside of an actual exorcism is needed for like a demon. Now, that bishop refused. Not enough evidence the first time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah. Now, that being said, there's a bit, and we need to probably do a whole episode on this. This is a little bit controversial. So there was a reform that was happening in the Catholic Church called the Vatican II, where they were kind of redoing a few things. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but it was pretty much like a rebrand for the Catholic Church. This also happened to be about the same time with Anneliese. Oh, they were pretty some of the priests involved were pretty adamant about getting an exorcism to prove to the world that this is real and people need to wake up to the evils of
Right.
the world.
Yeah. The war on evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, even though that bishop refused, as the months passed, things started to really escalate for Anneliese. She began identifying her demons. So, supposedly, she was inhabited by Lucifer,
Mm-hmm.
Judas,
Okay.
Nero, Cain, and Adolf Hitler.
Oh gosh. He's become a demon. He's been upgraded to demon. I mean, Judas too is like,
Yeah.
is he a demon? Like, really?
Well, so
Okay.
here's the thing. And this is what I kind of think is funny when her naming those things, right? It's just enough to where she would know about them from reading in the Bible and reading anything about history, right?
Right. Yeah.
She's not giving off like actual demon names. Like you can look at the Lesser Key of Solomon and see names of demons and stuff like that. Like, okay, Lucifer. Yep. Okay, cool. The one that was cast out of heaven. Judas, the betrayer that was, betrayed Jesus. Nero, the
Mm-hmm.
Caesar that hated Christians and
Right.
went on a crazy campaign against them. And Cain, obviously, Cain and Abel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these aren't actual, like, demons, at least considered in like if you were to read anything like the Lesser Key of Solomon, like you don't hear like I don't know. Anyway, and then Hitler kind of got me good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Of course he's a demon. Yeah. Well, yeah, like demons, depending on what you think or whatever, but like they have never been human. Like it
Right.
has to be it can't be someone who lived as a human. Like demons are
Yeah,
totally different entity.
the only demon that you could classify out of that list would be Lucifer.
Yeah.
But everybody else was a human being. So I don't know. Now, it is culturally significant for Hitler, like I said with the other ones,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's post-war Germany. Hitler wasn't evil. He was the embodiment of ultimate fucking asshole moral corruption, whatever you want to call it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that was only like that was at this point in time, this was less than 30 years ago. So people are still well aware of what happened in
Right.
1945. It Her mind was trying to construct demons, I think, and it chose
Yeah, it's
figures
like that.
that were like imaginable to her.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but in 1975, so 2 years later, um, Bishop Strangle approved the ritual. The exorcist would be Arnold Renz. There were, like I said, 67 sessions. They were almost every week, lasting anywhere, like I said, from 2 hours to up to 9. They were recorded on cassette tapes, and you can find recordings of her. And
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
I have a few if you would like to listen to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When we first talked about this topic, I don't know why I thought it happened like the 1800s.
No,
So to be
no.
so recent and to have like, yeah, like sounds and recordings, like that's great.
Yeah. So just FYI for listeners, if you're prone to anything creepy, it is kind of creepy, but I mean, we'll just listen to it. We'll see what we got. So I might have to. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, the demons that would come out during these sessions also only spoke German and a little bit of Latin, which she is German and she was raised Catholic, so she could probably pick up a
She
little bit
knows
of
some
Latin.
Latin. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No demonic, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there for sure. Like
yeah.
it sounds like she is obviously not doing well in
Well,
this.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
She stopped eating, she stopped drinking. Like she was literally starving to death during
Right. Yeah.
this time. And the craziest part about it is this is a picture of her probably when she was about 16, probably right before the first major seizure happened. Or no, this is
Yeah.
and I mean, like I said, she looks like a normal young lady. It's not
Yeah.
anything crazy. It looks like a nice little school picture, you know. And this is, I'm sure most people have seen this. This is a picture of her during the exorcism or
Yeah.
exorcisms. So there's also another picture of, I believe it is her mother that's helping her during one of these exorcisms. And I'm sure people have probably seen this picture as well. She actually has like black eyes,
Wow. Yeah.
and that was from her hitting herself. Like
Ugh.
she was doing this to herself. So
Yeah. That's crazy.
yeah. Now
That's just sad.
it is sad. It really is. People talk about these tapes though, about how they can hear her voice shifting. I don't really hear that. I hear somebody that's like
Yeah.
growling. Like I feel like I could make that sort of noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
not
feel like
like
I could. Yeah.
it's not like the movies, you know what I mean, where you hear
Mm.
like two voices talking or
Hmm.
something like
Right.
that. It's very disturbing, but I don't think it's disturbing because it's a demon. I think it's disturbing because this woman is, you know, going through a mental breakdown and psychotic episode, and people are saying the power of Christ compels you. You know what I
Yeah.
like?
And just throwing holy water
Uh,
on her. Like, and then of course she's just gonna be like, like,
right.
because that's in her. Yeah. Yeah. She
Now,
just really needed some help. Yeah. Not this kind of help.
yeah. Now, human vocal cords, I mean, they can produce some fucking crazy sounds. I mean, you hear these, like any sort of like modern metal band with like the growling and stuff like that. Like if you would have heard that back in the fucking 60s, you would think, "Oh shit, this person's possessed. Oh my god, they're possessed by the devil."
Isn't
Which
that like the Satanic Panic tour or something? Like with these?
sure, right, you know, but like you can see that just from opera singers that can do incredible feats with their voice, or even like what are those the Tibetan like throat singing monks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
crazy.
that shit
Right.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And if normal people can do that, then some girl under duress can definitely make her voice sound fucking creepy.
Right. Yeah.
Just saying. Now, it is unsettling that reportedly she also ate spiders, licked urine off the floor, bit the head off of
Mm.
a dead bird, barked like a dog for days, performed 600 like falling to her knees and getting up, falling to her knees, getting up daily to
Oh,
like
wow.
atone for, and that's once again how she broke her fucking knees.
Yeah.
She would tear off her clothes, she'd break rosaries with her teeth. Her knees eventually ruptured just from the shock
Mm.
of going down and up so many times like that. She stopped eating, she refused water, and this is where it gets even kind of more sad, I guess. She believed that her suffering had a purpose. She said that she had a vision from the Virgin Mary that offered her to come with her right now, or she could suffer to atone for the sins of the world in Germany at this time because they're living in sin and this modernism is destroying,
Right.
you know. So she kind of chose to be a martyr psychologically, I guess, would be the best way to say it. And devout frameworks, the martyrdom is fucking sacred. Like you could become a saint if you're
Yeah.
a martyr. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah.
I think in her mind it was more of like, well, I feel like I have to do this now because, I was given a choice and it's not going to be
Right.
easy, but this is the choice that I want to do. So, and I'm sure that wasn't helped by the family by any means.
Yeah. Right. Definitely not.
So,
Yeah.
now when this happened, medical treatment was pretty much largely stopped. The main reason why is most of the priests involved believed that the medication suppressed the demons.
So they couldn't get him out. Is
Yeah,
that what they're saying? Of
pretty much. Her parents trusted the clergy over the doctors as well at that point.
course. Yeah.
Doctors later testified, there was a court hearing about it that we'll get to here in a little bit, but
Oh.
that she definitely needed hospitalization. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you got to think this has been going on for months. Really, it's been going on for years, but it hasn't intensified
Mhm.
like this until, the last probably year, what she was going through.
Right.
You should have freaking knocked her out, put a tranquilizer in her, fucking give her a feeding tube, taken her out of that house. You know what I mean? Actually got some
Yeah.
treatment. So,
Right. Yeah. Actually have some intervention that had a
yeah,
chance of doing something. Yeah.
yeah. Now, unfortunately, that did not happen at all. June 1976, like I said at the beginning, she was 68 pounds. She had pneumonia, bed sores, broken teeth, muscle atrophy. And then on July 1st, 1970, she died. Cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration.
It was a
So,
long time that she was not eating and stuff too.
yeah, yeah. Well, and to be fair, like the body can go for quite a while without food for sure, especially if she's just in bed most of the time. You know what I mean? Like you could last for quite a while. I'm not going to say it's enjoyable, but you could be
Oh no.
alive for quite a while.
Right. Yeah.
But no, that's 100%. You know what I mean? Like if it got to the point where you're refusing food and like that, like, dude, just knock her ass
Yeah.
out, take her to the hospital or put a feeding tube down her, get her some weight back and
Right.
actually
Talk to a
figure
therapist
out.
or something. Yeah. A
Yeah,
psychiatrist. Yeah.
just psychiatrists, whatever you got to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But in 1978, her parents and both the priests that were involved were charged with negligent homicide.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Courtroom heard all the tapes, right? And unfortunately, I think it was okay, so the Catholic Church is really kind of secretive about like exorcism stuff, especially, right? Like you
Mm.
don't ever get to see like recorded video or actual recordings, but this is like readily available. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's because of that Vatican II thing that they were trying to push. I think it was
Mm.
very political. I think it was because you can find a bunch of stuff on Anneliese, like so much. It's insane
Yeah.
how much. And a lot of that was actually pushed out by the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
So I think it was trying to be like, we'll show the world, we'll use this girl and we'll show the world that this is real and you guys have to, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Experts that had been doctors before she was completely taken off medical care, they testified that she suffered from epilepsy and paranoid psychosis. The defense argued once again that she was possessed. This became
Wow.
a national debate of science versus faith. And here's the crazy thing. All three were found guilty. The parents didn't really face any charges at all. They got like 3 years probation along with the priests.
Wow.
No jail
Really?
time at all.
Why?
The court ruled medical negligence led to her death and that they did provide medical to her in some cases. But this is why I feel like
That's
I
kind of
need to do
ridiculous.
it's very ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot to that case. Like we could probably do a whole fucking episode just on like the court case
Yeah. Okay.
itself. But yeah, the parents I kind of get because the court did rule that they quote unquote had suffered enough. Okay. I kind of get that to a certain extent. I don't agree with it, but the priests that were involved, like you guys are supposed to be better than this. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, but unfortunately
Yeah.
with certain priests, it's been worse things have been swept under the rug too. So
Well, yeah. I mean, to do 67 times and it's not working at all, and to not be like, okay, maybe let's do something different.
nah, keep it going.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it kind of sparked a lot of like debates, right? You can see this online. You can see people trying to talk about it. Like I said, this is kind of like a pop culture thing. Even if people don't know the name Anneliese, The Exorcism of Emily Rose is the movie that was based off of that experience. So if you've ever seen that, that's literally based off of what happened to Anneliese. So a lot of like these believers will say like, well, what if modern medicine doesn't know everything? Which is probably true. But that being said, if we have modern medicine and we know what it can do, how about we try that first?
Yeah. Maybe we should use it. Like,
Yeah. Well, like I'm a firm believer of like you can like okay, if like let's say somebody gets a cancer diagnosis and they just accept the fact they're going to die. Guess what usually happens? They go pretty quickly.
very fast.
But
Yeah. Right.
there are plenty of people, and I know plenty personally that have been affected by cancer, and they're like, "Fuck this, I'm not dying." And guess what? Most of the time, they come through it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that like your mind, like over matter, isn't a real thing. I'm just saying if we have modern medicine along with a healthy mindset, why not use both? Remember that?
Yeah.
What's that one commercial of that little girl? Why not both?
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm
The
saying.
taco commercial. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Everybody
Well,
likes
yeah.
hard and
I
soft
mean,
tacos.
I don't know if there's a lot of cases where like a cancer patient thinks I'm not going to die, but they also don't do treatment like and survive. Like
Exactly.
you kind of need to do both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing that people like to say is, what if epilepsy was just the doorway? Now, I have heard of that. It could be where it allowed something to come in, negative energy, demons, whatever you want to call it. I don't know that. It very well could be. And It but at the same time, it's just like, okay, but once again, if we know that she has epilepsy, why aren't we fucking treating it? Like,
Yeah.
we can do
Maybe
both.
do that. Right. Treat it. So then it closes the door, right? Like
Right.
that's kind of the idea. Yeah.
Another one
Yeah.
is, why did she react so violently to holy objects? Because she was a fucking devout Catholic that believed in this with all of her heart. And if she genuinely believed that she was being afflicted by demons, and she was having a psychotic episode where she thought she was being controlled by a demon, yes, she would react very violently to crucifixes, rosaries, holy water, whatever that may be. You know? So,
Yeah. I mean, if you're convinced of that, then you're going to act accordingly and you're not going to recognize that it's you acting like that.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And it's like all these things you talk, and like I said earlier about like the voice changes. Like I've listened to a lot of her the recordings. I never hear her voice change. It's always the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can
Right.
pretty much do that voice right now without having to do any prep. you know?
Right. Yeah. And if you really think you're in anguish, like you can make that kind of,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, actors are actors for a reason. Like they get paid to cry on command. So if, you know, anyway, the next one is I saw a lot of people talking about it. It's like, well, if these priests were so like they're well trained priests, why did they believe it was so genuine? It's like, well, because I personally think they wanted a poster child for this new reform that they were pushing through. I I
Yeah.
don't I don't think it was much more than that. I hate to say that, but I truly don't believe it was much more than that on the priest's end.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot motivating them, not just, I mean, I don't know. Who knows if they believe even that's there's possessions or, I mean,
Well, according to I did look up some like exorcism passages and rites and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things is like if you're going to be an exorcist, and this is like straight from the Catholic Church, like you have to believe in this with like everything. Like
okay.
you can't like halfway believe it and be an exorcist. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
So
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I mean if that's truly what you're doing, if you are truly battling with like the no shit, like good and evil, like yeah, you better believe in this with all of your heart. Like
Right.
you
Yeah.
better, because if not, you're just gonna fail. So, but on the opposite end, as far as like the skeptics, psychosis explains all the hallucinations. Malnutrition intensifies delusion. Like, if you don't eat, you're going to start fucking being crazy. If you don't sleep, you're going to start seeing shit. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't drink water, your mind is going to start to fucking deteriorate,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? And the biggest thing, and I think this is one of the biggest contributing factors, group reinforcement amplifies behavior.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Just everything, it was just spiraling out of control because everyone was feeding into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's like if she was born in like, I don't know, rural India, would she be seeing Hindu spirits? If she was born in Salem in the Salem witch trials, would she be accusing witches? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's once you start to get into that mob mentality, especially in a fanatical, you know, religion, it's pretty easy to do.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the biggest thing, like her demons weren't actually demons, like we kind of already talked about.
Those were not demons.
They were culturally selected, like shit she knew about, If she would have said something crazy, like a lesser demon, in the hierarchy of hell that supposedly exists that like you wouldn't just know off the top of your head. Sure, maybe, maybe now we have something we can,
Right.
have something
Yeah, we can
tangible.
look into it a little bit. Yeah. To
Yeah,
say, yeah, Hitler and Judas and yeah.
yeah, five
Okay.
humans and one fallen angel.
Right.
Like that doesn't,
Yeah.
there are also reports that she displayed incredible strength, and a lot of the believers will counter with like, "Oh yeah, people saw her grab an apple and crush it with one hand. When people were holding her down, she like had these like fits of strength where she almost threw off three grown men off of her." Like okay, adrenaline in high stress environments will create superhuman fucking strength. Like you've heard the stories
Yeah.
about people lifting cars off of kids and stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you can have these like short spurts of like unbelievable strength. And I hate to say this, and I'm pretty sure this is probably what was happening with the priests. I bet they were using a lot of like suggestion towards her. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
highly doubt. Like, there was a really great exorcism or exorcist. I listened to a podcast with him, and it was really awesome because one of the things he does when people come into his office or call him or he meets with somebody is he'll fill up his little, I can't remember what it's called, but whatever holds the holy water. He'll just fill it up with normal water and not
Right.
bless it, right?
Mm,
And so like or he'll put like holy water, like he'll ask somebody if they want something to drink and he'll give them like a glass of holy water.
mm,
You know what I mean?
right.
And you're sitting talking to the guy and you see the dude drinking some holy water and it's like, well, if he's not falling on the ground convulsing freaking the fuck out.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
if I grab my little golden flask of fucking whatever and I throw it on him that hasn't been blessed and he starts freaking out, well, you're not possessed. You're whatever's wrong
Right.
is not spiritual. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of that was happening with Anneliese. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's really sad. Just, I don't know. Well, yeah,
Well,
she was a product of her culture, of course.
yeah,
I
I
mean, we
mean,
all are,
belief,
but
your belief shapes your reality. It
yeah,
truly does.
definitely.
You know, and if you're believing demons are real and your brain starts malfunctioning, having seizures and
Right.
epileptic fits, what you're hallucinating will start to become your reality. Like that is
Right.
what is going to happen. And it doesn't need to be a demon. It just needs to be your belief in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty wild. It's really sad. I'd really like to do a deep dive on the actual case itself because, like I said, I just kind of gave the cliff notes here on most of this. Like, there is so much information to
Yeah.
this story. It's not even funny.
I
But
love court cases, so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And well, I just don't understand how no one went to jail about this. Like no one at all. Seriously.
Her parents, I kind of understand because they weren't like, they were
Yeah.
complicit, but they weren't like, I don't think they were the true perpetrator of it. I think the priests that were involved were definitely the perpetrators of this. And I think they were trying to prop her up, like I said, as some poster girl for the new reform. And unfortunately, I mean, people don't understand, like, the Catholic Church is still pretty freaking powerful as far as like
Yeah. Right.
influence and,
Yeah, they're
power.
not gonna send their exorcist to jail, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to think too, like they're in the middle of this new reform that they're doing. Like you don't want like, oh, well, we had a botched exorcism, but still believe what we're doing right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Well, and then they can't show any of the stuff that was with her if they admit this wasn't like accurate or anything. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think I think kind of me and you have always kind of been on the same, not always, but for the most part been on the same page as far as like what you choose to believe is like kind of what happens afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. Like, you see the movies and you see like the Hollywood depictions of like exorcisms and stuff like that. I don't think they're ever gonna, like, it's obviously Hollywood esque. I don't think they're ever that crazy. And I'm not saying that like people aren't possessed by demons. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say no, 100% not. But what I am saying is I think that a lot of this is based on mental issues that are compounded with overwhelming faith in a certain religion.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
neither one of those things are a bad thing, but as long as you keep the mental issues in check with modern medicine and you have a healthy relationship with the God of your choosing, then nothing wrong with
Right.
that. But when you start to get fanatical or you start to not do things for your mental or physical self, well, shit goes awry pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, like schizophrenic people and like, I mean, there's all stuff like that, that if you're not taking your meds and you just kind of go off the rails and it just gets worse and worse if you don't treat it. And then, yeah, you end up like this. Or like now you end up homeless on the streets and no one knows who you are and you're just in your own world. So,
yeah, yeah. And I mean, who knows if they would have actually taken her somewhere to get her help, you know what I mean? How that would have actually turned out. I don't think it would have been much different if I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be pessimistic or anything.
yeah. Well, because I mean, she was a perpetrator. It's not like she wanted to get better. Like, she didn't recognize that this is a mental issue or a
Right.
neurological issue. You
Right.
have to be able to recognize that to heal yourself. And she probably didn't think she deserved to be healed.
That's the other thing I was about to say. She lived in a self guilt fueled,
Yeah.
family where she had to have done something wrong, or like she thought she had to atone for other people in the modern age of, I think it was Germany itself where Mary told her that she had to,
Well,
you know,
right.
so
Yeah. So
I don't know.
just sad, but yeah, we should do a second episode on just the case.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Like I said, I mean, I did some research with some other podcasts and I mean, there were multiple part 2s, part 3s, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like this is a fuck ton of information. Like not enough for a single episode for sure, but
No. But we try to keep part ones,
yeah,
everything in one. But
yeah.
we've gone to
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Sometimes you're only
right.
halfway through and, I thought about doing it with this, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
figured the cliff notes would be pretty good for right now, and then we'll have some other stuff to rehash later, which would be a good
Yeah.
one. But I don't know, Sarah, what you think?
Yeah, I think she just needed the right medicine. Maybe it didn't exist at that time. I don't know. I mean,
Very true. I don't know
maybe it
either.
wasn't, yeah, but she needed something besides 67 exorcisms.
Yeah,
Like,
to say the least.
yeah. So, I mean, that's just an insane amount. The
Well, Sarah, you know what they
why?
say. If it doesn't work the first time, it's going to work the next 66.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's almost the devil's numbers.
It is. It's all coming together. All right. Well, listeners, hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you want to check us out on any social media, just search the Paranoid Perspective Podcast and you will find us there. If you want to help support the show, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/the Paranoid Perspective Podcast. Got some cool perks over there for you. But easiest and free way is to share this podcast with a friend. Like these posts, anything you see on social media, interact with it in some way, shape, or form. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Excuse me. What else do I have? I don't know. I guess as always.
Okay. And remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not watching. See you next time on The Paranoid Perspective.